Hello, today we have some great tips for you for the month of October. And we're actually going to start with our turf grasses, especially the cool season grasses. So for those of you who are maintaining a tall fescue Kentucky bluegrass mix in your landscape, now's the time to start paying a little bit more attention to them. And this is the time of year when we put down our first application of fertilizer for the season, for the cool season. And we do that at about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of actual nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. And it should be a complete fertilizer, one that has nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium in it. Now through the summer months, you've probably been maintaining your cool season grasses at about 3 to 3.5 inch mowing height. And now is the time of year when you will drop that down to about 2.5 inches for the fall and the winter season. Now if you need to replant or establish a cool season turf grass, you can still do that now, but I would encourage you to do that as quickly as possible so that it has enough time to establish before the really cold weather sets in. And then finally, if you are needing to maintain or control broadleaf weeds in your turf grasses, you can still do that now with a broadleaf herbicide. Now for ornamentals, we can still plant our cool season annuals such as the pansies, the ornamental kale and cabbage, snapdragons, and some of those others that are found in the nurseries. It is also a good time to put in the ground the spring flowering bulbs such as tulips, daffodils, crocus, and hyacinths. And usually we do that towards the latter part of October, but you can select those now from the garden center and get those in the ground. If you have spring flowering perennials that need to be divided and replanted, or if you want to plant some new ones, again, the fall is an excellent time to do that. And then if you have some tender perennials such as dahlias, caladiums, etc., those ought to be dug this month, cleaned up, and then stored in a cool, dry place. Now, of course, trees and shrubs, there are many of them out there that have some great fall color. And if you're interested in selecting a plant based on their fall color, now would be a good time to be looking in the garden centers for those. And again, it's an excellent time to plant trees and shrubs. And then finally, if you have house plants, again, that you've been maintaining outdoors and you want to move them indoors, be sure to inspect them for insects and diseases and treat them before you move them in. And for those that are root bound, go ahead and repot them. In the vegetable garden, the fall harvest is upon us, so you will be wanting to harvest your squash, pumpkins, sweet potatoes, etc. And if you have tomatoes, and we're going to be getting close to getting some cooler temperatures now, if there's a threat of frost or freezes, you want to go ahead and pick those green tomatoes, move those indoors, and allow them to ripen indoors so that you can have nice fresh tomatoes. Now you can still plant some of those cool season crops that will germinate and mature quickly, such as radishes and mustard. And then finally, if you have debris in the garden after everything's died off, if they've been infested with insects and diseases over the summer, go ahead and remove that debris from the garden and dispose of it, get it out of there so it's not overwintering some of those pests for next year.